secret sins of the flesh. In your flesh, you're going to have to discover that there's nothing good. In order for you to give it up, you got to see it. In me, that is in my flesh, there's nothing good. It'll bring you to your knees and confess as the Apostle Paul did. Who will deliver me from this embodiment of death? The flesh. Let no man or woman blame God or the devil. They of their own lust and enticement are drawn away. When the lust and enticement is concluded, finished, and manifest sin, and when sin is done with it all, it brings forth death. The flesh. You worship the flesh and followers of your flesh. What more needs to be said? What will it take to get us to give up on the flesh and trying to find some kind of unity of the flesh? There will never be any unity of the flesh. Anyone that surrenders to the unity of our spirits. At the time of this recording, there are some 56 videos just on this matter of the flesh that gives you some idea just how deep this matter of the flesh goes. What could have been something good to manifest the human spirit and who we are as the being the offspring of our Father gets distorted by this thing of the flesh, of some particular race, culture, secular religious creed, opinions of gender. We see it today. Race against race, culture against culture, creed against creed, gender against gender. There's no unity in the flesh. Well, this is just one more video on this matter in hope to drive it home and give us some idea of what evil has done to take this good thing that was to manifest the flesh. Adam and Eve were to become one flesh. They would manifest one Spirit, one Lord, one faith, one God and Father of us all, expressing that to this mind of Christ in our spirits, and preserving that unity of the Spirit. That's what Adam got cut off from, the Spirit. At this point, I want to bring out an excerpt from a movie you may have heard of, called A Storm of the Century. It's one of those Stephen King movies. And people wonder, what are you doing with Stephen King movies? He had horror movies. That's exactly what it is. To give you some idea of the depths of that thing of the flesh that was manifested in that movie. Toward the tail end of that movie, it's a movie about the devil going to some island off the coast of Maine, and during a powerful winter storm, he deceives that people on that island and brings out the hidden fact of their secret sins. They had thought themselves to be good people, closely knit community, yet only to find out they were more corrupt than they could ever imagine. And it brings out this idea that in me, that is in my flesh, my particular race, culture, creed, and gender, there's nothing good. He had made them that way. And they were gullible, fell for it, of their own lust and enticement, were all drawn away. And denying this fact. So here's a brief excerpt from that, and I'll be developing upon that.
You don't like knowing, do you?
Not your brand of it, no.
Perhaps you don't believe me.
I believe you. But the thing of it is, you see only the bad, none of the good.
By and large, Constable, the good's an illusion. Little fables folks tell themselves so they can get through their days without screaming too much.
I don't believe that.
I know. A good boy to the last. But I think you'll find yourself on the short end this time. Your town is full of adulterers, pedophiles, thieves, gluttons, murderers, bullies, scoundrels, and covetous morons. And I know every last one of them. Born in lust, turned to dust. Born in sin, come on in.
What do you want, who knows?
Everyone on those benches an hour from now. That will do for a start. We're going to have a little unscheduled town meeting. 9 o'clock p.m. prompt. After that, well, we'll see.
Many of you may wonder, why am I bringing this out? Why am I taking a Stephen King movie and trying to get across spiritual truth? Well, for many people, they can't hear it. Of the world, and sadly, even among the Christians, can't see this. A secret sin, we all got them. Sin's hidden. The devil gets you to do it, then gets you to hide it. He's going to use it to manipulate your life. Or the devil would manipulate and use it against you. God will forgive you. Time to confess those sins and get it behind you. Secret sins of the flesh. There's nothing to hide. There's no reason to hide it. He's forgiven you. In this movie, they didn't know that. And the devil was able to manipulate them, taking each of their hidden little sins and bringing it out, exposing them. He keeps saying throughout the course of this movie that he wanted something. If they would give him what he wanted, he would go away. Well, a spoiler alert. I'm going to tell you what he wanted. He wanted one of their children that he might take into himself and act as a father to that child. Make him a son of the devil. What we would call this Antichrist. I mean, it's a fictional story. No biblical proof to all of this. But it's hideous and manipulative how the devil works. I don't know if Stephen King understood that or not. But if you get the chance, watch the full movie. It's 4 hours long. Find a time when you can watch it from beginning to end. They ran it as a series for about a week back in 1999. Remember what Scripture tells us. Greater is He that's in us than he that's in this world. God's forgiveness. Had they known that, they would not have fallen for His lies and His trickery and surrendered one of their children to Him. They didn't know it. They were involved with their sin and sin nature. They had religion. Even their religious leader was caught up, showing that he was a pedophile. I mean, it's hideous how this movie played out. Powerful movie. Well, that's all I wanted to share on this particular video about that. There's so much more that I could bring out, but you would have to watch this full movie to understand what I'm talking about. I may have lost some of you at this point. So I'll put the link to this movie. It's free, it's on YouTube. Watch the whole movie. Be prepared for a shock. Don't allow the devil to manipulate you. Take your hidden sin. Use it against you. He's forgiven you. Go on.